Good morning, YouTubers. This is Joseph Magi, author of Playing Card Divination and Fortune Telling, the Magi Method. You can buy the book worldwide on Amazon in both Kindle and paperback versions. You can find the full color card deck used here on Etsy/Magi Method. You can join us on Facebook. This morning, we want to do Whitney Houston. And here's Whitney with Bobby Brown and Christina Bobby Brown. I generally try to get like really great pictures of people because I want them to be seen in the best light. Bobby Brown is high here. He's like wearing a mask of high in this picture, and she also looks high to me. If you look carefully at her, her consciousness is behind her face, and little Christina Bobby Brown, she's just like a normal little girl. She just got her face, and her consciousness is just like a normal girl. But both of them are high in this picture. Okay, Whitney Houston, as we recall, she died. She's a great singer. Okay, a huge talent. She died at 46. She died in the Beverly Hilton in a bathtub. She drowned in a bathtub in the Beverly Hilton Hotel. How do you drown in a bathtub? Okay, something's wrong if you drown in a bathtub. She was high on cocaine at the time. She was unconscious. Later tests revealed that there was Benadryl, cannabis, and Flexeril in addition to cocaine in her system. Okay, so she admitted a couple of times that she was having drug problems. So I want to find out what happened to her. How does this happen? This enormously talented person. She was called the Voice. Okay, she was dubbed the Voice because her talent was so magnificent. She had such a tremendous voice. They called her the Voice. So what happened? Was it drug use? Was it domination and witchcraft? Because there's I'll read to you some things about some disturbing things that went on in the house that were in Sissy, her mother, Sissy Houston. Yeah, I guess her name is Houston. Sissy Houston, who was a gospel singer. So she grew up in the church. Her mother's a gospel singer. Aretha Franklin is her godmother. Okay, so she had a real pedigree. And she was kind of marked for greatness in singing from a very young age. So was it drug use? Was it domination and witchcraft? Was it demons? Or was it Bobby Brown? There's some suggestion that Bobby Brown was very dominating and abusive, and he was arrested at one point for some kind of spousal abuse. But that is so common that I think most of the time that it's not true. So I think most people who are arrested for that, I think some ladies are going to scream about this, but the evidentiary requirements are so small and non-existent that, anyway, whatever. So what happened to Whitney Houston? Was it drug use? Was it demons? Okay, and surely spirits were involved. Or was it a controlling, abusive relationship with Bobby Brown of New Edition fame? Okay, so let's look at how bad was Whitney's drug use. How addicted was Whitney Houston with the drugs? Let's ask this first. Not looking too bad. That's interesting. Okay, so how addicted was Whitney Houston with the drug use? Strength, 3 blackbirds, Mother Earth, and Diamond Ring. Let's add this up. 23, 26, Finger of God. So strength is very deeply rooted in her situation, but she's also a mother. 3 blackbirds, something you do, activity. And Diamond Ring is a marriage card. Okay, so it was kind of part of her. It was kind of part of what she did. You know, she was in the entertainment industry, and there's a lot of drugs in the entertainment industry. So it could just be, this is just part of her lifestyle. It's just something that was part of, it was deeply rooted in her lifestyle and in her life. It was just, you know, she was a very casual, social drug user. That's interesting. That's interesting because she confessed twice to serious drug use. Once to Diane Sawyer in 2002, she was confronted by her, and another time in 2007, Oprah Winfrey. She admitted that after The Bodyguard and the birth of her daughter, she was doing drugs every day. Okay, so she admitted this to Oprah. Let's ask, I want to ask again, how bad, you know, was her addiction controlling her life, or was she more of a casual drug user with maybe a binging problem? You know, because people get under stress. Okay, yeah, she's okay. That's interesting. All right, let's see what we got there. So I asked, was she controlled by it? Okay, and these are not like demonic oppression cards. I got Star Bethlehem, Heart, Home, and Butterfly. Butterfly is very light. It's getting high. Heart, love. You can love your dog. You can love taking drugs. Star Bethlehem, it just goes into your system. This is a spreading into your system. Home, she just really enjoyed taking drugs. 5 and 7, 13. It was just part of her lifestyle. And all of her friends and associates did drugs. That's interesting. So she's not like this hardcore drug addict. She's more of a social drug addict. She's just something she does, and when she's under a lot of stress, she'll do drugs a bit more seriously. Drugs were a pressure release valve for someone who was incredibly famous and very talented and had a lot of off time. Too much money, a lot of off time. And again, I do find it very disturbing that both of them look high to me. And the expression of that energy is very different. His is right in the forefront of his face. Hers is behind her face. And she's obviously just a normal little girl. Okay, so the next question I want to ask. So she is more of a casual drug user who binges. And it's just part of her life. And the people that she knows. Okay, so there's some suggestion. So when in Sisty Houston's book, okay, she wrote a book in 2013, and she visited Whitney Houston's house. Okay, and she said, somebody had spray painted the walls and door with big glaring eyes and strange faces, evil eyes staring out like a threat in another room. And in another room there was a big framed photo of Whitney, but someone had cut her head out. It was beyond disturbing seeing my daughter's face cut out like that. So there's somebody spray painted these big evil eyes, and somebody took a picture of Whitney. That's witchcraft, and cut her face out. That's manifestation work. That's witchcraft. Was she being demonized and oppressed by spirits, demonic spirits, through witchcraft? Okay, because there's a lot of that in Hollywood too. And so, inquiring minds, we need to know. Was there like some serious witchcraft? Oh, there's a witchcraft card. Okay. Interesting. Yeah. So was she being oppressed demonically by witchcraft? That's interesting. Oh, excuse me. Incubus, succubus, high tower, and broken chalice. 8 and 9 is 17. 5 hearts. Fence sitter. And 2 hearts here on the bottom, lovers. It indicates that someone very close to her. Okay, so was she being oppressed by witchcraft? Yes. Excuse me. The incubus succubus is a very good witchcraft card. Okay, and broken relationship with someone very close to her, and high tower suggests that they were paying somebody to do this. So Bobby Brown, probably someone close to her, and the closest person to her is Bobby Brown. Bobby Brown was very likely paying somebody. Okay, high tower is like business, paying someone to oppress her spiritually so that he could control her. That's interesting. So she is, she was being demonically oppressed. Okay, in my experience, I'm a little bit of an exorcist and I do cast out spirits. My experience with drug addicts is every drug addict I've ever met is very heavily demonically oppressed and or possessed. And the reason for that is because being like a hardcore drug addict, that person is handing over their will to something outside themselves, that drug. Okay, and there are spirits associated with each different kind of drug. Okay, a heroin addict acts a certain way, and I've met like 4, and they all act the same way, and it's the spirits on them. So someone who heavily uses drugs is either very strongly spiritually oppressed or even possessed, okay, in the standard way. So she was being oppressed by someone very close to her. Let's ask, is this Bobby? Was Bobby doing that? You can't see me shuffle. I would just want to throw one card, and I want to see if a male card comes up. Was Bobby doing this to her? 5 spades. No, I'm looking for a male card. Jack of hearts. So here, I wanted to see who's doing it to her. We got roadblock, mustard seed, cup overflowing. 16, 4 spades, coffin. Angel. This is someone who says they're doing everything in their best interest. 10 hearts is a Holy Spirit card. Ace of clubs, mustard seed. It's a seed planted, and pills. This is someone very close to her who is a major roadblock for her, and they would just get high together. And this is somebody that she would rely on for support. So the angel is somebody who only has good intentions. I think this person is Bobby, but angel can be either male or female. It can be someone just very close to her. It's obviously someone very close to her. So, yeah. And that's the worst thing. You really have to have your own mind in this world. So, the third allegation was, Bobby Brown was arrested for spousal abuse at some point. Okay, so the third question is, did her life just fall apart? They married in, Bobby Brown and she married in, they divorced in 2007, and they married in, I think they were married like 15 years. Okay, 15 years. Yeah, they married in 1992, and they divorced in 2007. And in 2004, Bobby Brown and Whitney Houston, they had a reality show on E! Okay, and it was their highest rated show. It was the highest rated show on E! And one of these critics described it as the most disgusting and execrable series, like shit, ever to ooze its way onto television. Okay, so this very highly rated show, and after the first season, it was their top show. Whitney said, "I'm out." She's getting the same amount of airtime as Bobby, and it was just, ugly. That's what people were saying. People were watching it because of all the conflict, but it was just ugly. And so they divorced not that long after that. So was Bobby dominating her? Was Bobby dominating her? Is that what was going on? Olive tree, binding, secret. Wow. That's quite interesting. Can you see that? You can see that. Okay, so I asked was, because they're married, they're in a close relationship, and they're going to affect each other, of course. So was Bobby dominating her? Olive tree, no, and veil, and devil. Devil is very malicious. Devil is most of all controlling. If the devil in the tarot here, this is about luring into sin. Okay, the way that I did the devil here, this is about luring down the long hallway to your destruction. Okay, so no here is not no, it's binding. And secret. He was very secretly binding her, very controlling. I asked, was he controlling and dominating? One of the most controlling and dominating. These are the two of the most. This is controlling, this is dominating. So was he controlling and dominating? He was both controlling and dominating, and he was constantly working against her in secret. This is 16 plus 6, 22, 6, six diamonds. So hand in hand. Yeah, he was really all about controlling and dominating her. So, yeah. That's interesting. Okay, I think we have a pretty good picture of what's going on. Did I go over? Okay, all right. So let's recap. Okay, Whitney Houston. What happened? Okay, was it drug use? Was it domination, witchcraft? Was it Bobby Brown being dominating and abusive? Okay. Here's Whitney Houston, the best-selling musical artist of all time. 7 consecutive #1 Billboard Top 100 songs. Her second album, it is the #1 debut album on the top Billboard 200 chart in history. I Will Always Love You from The Bodyguard with Kevin Costner is the best-selling female single in history. Okay, so she drowned in a bathtub at 46. How do you drown in a bathtub? Okay, she was high on cocaine. She also had Benadryl, cannabis, which is pot, and Flexeril in her system. Okay. So the first questions I asked was, I asked about Whitney's drug use. Okay, I asked, was she a hardcore drug addict? Because she revealed several times on national TV, and we all know that she had a drug problem, and she's high right here. I don't know if you can see it as clearly as me, but she's high. She's high in this picture, and he's high in this picture, which is really disturbing. And they're with their daughter. Hashtag child abuse. Okay, so how bad was her addiction as a person? She was a casual user. It was just part of her life. People close to her used it a lot. People she loved and was close to. It was just something she did to relax. Okay, it's like having a beer. She would do drugs because she's in the entertainment industry and there's just a lot of drugs around. She is not a hardcore user here. She's not. That's not her thing. She's not like a hardcore drug addict user here. Okay, so the second question I asked was domination and witchcraft. Okay, because her face, her mother came over in 2005. She put this in her book, and her face was cut out of a big picture on the wall, and there were ugly eyes and menacing faces spray painted into the walls of her beautiful mansion. Okay, she's living probably like in Beverly Hills or something, and somebody is doing spray painting these ugly faces on the walls. What is that about? Okay, so was there domination and witchcraft used against her? Yes. Someone very close to her was using witchcraft against her, and those would be indications, cutting someone's face out of a picture. That's a very clear indication of manifestation work, negative manifestation work. I asked who it was. Was it Bobby? It was somebody that she relied on. Was a huge obstacle to her. Okay, and 10 hearts is a big Holy Spirit card. So is somebody very, very close to her, someone she relied on, very close to her, someone who said he loved her, okay, or she loved her. This is not uncommon, okay? We saw the meltdown of Whitney Spears, okay, and that's because she couldn't trust the people around her. I think. That's my interpretation. Okay, and the third question I asked was it domination and control? Control and domination. Is that what caused the just dominating and controlling her? And the answer is yes. Both controlling and domination. He was dominating and controlling her, and he was a terrible influence in her life, and he was constantly working behind her, and he was very deeply rooted in her situation. So Bobby Brown was very, very bad for Whitney. Whitney was not of herself a serious drug user. She was a casual drug user who was a binge user. Okay, there was witchcraft used against her by someone very close to her. The people closest to her were working against her, and Bobby Brown in particular was very dominating and very controlling, and he was thinking about himself. The devil is very selfish and thinks about himself or herself. Devil can be male or female. So Bobby Brown was a terrible influence on her, and he really, just a tremendous talent and a beautiful lady. And she could have done so much more. That's how I see it. I'm Joseph Magi, author of Playing Card Divination, Fortune Telling, The Magi Method. You can find the book worldwide on Amazon in both Kindle and paperback versions. You can find the full color card deck used here on Etsy/Magi Method. You can join us on Facebook.